What's going on, guys? My name is AnO Toxic, also known as Daniel, or Daniel, also known as AnO Toxic. And for today's video is going to be another podcast. And I'm here, before I show you, I'm going to describe him a little bit. Brand new person, the newest signed member or executive to AnO Gaming. You guys should have seen his introducing video by now. If you have not, if I remember to put a card on the top right, then I will. If I don't remember, I will try to put it in the comments below. So check out that video. Also, his social media and stuff in the description box below. But I'm here with the one, the only, Skylar SkeeBo. What's going on?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, bro. Glad to be here, dog.
I'm glad to have you here, man. So, I want to say, well, actually, you want to tell a story. Well, actually, before we get into that, everybody watching the podcast, all the links in the description, like I said, to his social media, my social media, as well as, like the store, things like that, the Discord. Click those links, join our Discord. They've already seen sneak peeks and stuff before you guys do on Discord, so anybody can join. Just join the Discord. You'll have early access to news and information and stuff like that, so make sure you do that. But yeah, check out the store, anogaming.fwscart.com. Once again, links in the description. Alright, so Skylar, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit background. Well, go ahead and tell them how we kind of met.
So me and Daniel, we actually met, I believe, through 5M, right?
Yeah.
Through 5M, actually through a buddy of mine that I worked with. He introduced me to the 5M RP server, which anybody that's not familiar with it, it's a Grand Theft Auto 5 RP on PC, and I had a buddy approach me at work, and me and him have gamed a couple times together, and he was like, "Hey, you into RP?" And I was like, "Sure, dude, I'll give it a shot. Try it out." And so he introduced me to AnO Gaming's DOJ RP, which is mainly Leo, which is cops, fire, EMS, civilians, things like that. And then I think Daniel was one of the first people I met on the server, because the server was still fairly new at the time. And from then on, it's been kind of an avalanche. We kind of stuck together out of everybody that we played with, and here we are now.
Yeah, man. I know we talked about it before, but I don't remember when you first joined. Like, we were still running Paleto Bay PD at that point, right?
Yeah. When I first joined, you were the chief of Paleto Bay PD, and I wanted to be a cop in RP so bad I couldn't stand it. I just thought it was cool. Which I got prior law enforcement history, and it just intrigued me. So I was like, cool, dude, let's try it. So I think how it came about, how I came to meet you was I was waiting to get my quote unquote training finished, and I had Alex, who was the guy that I worked with that directed me to that server.
Right.
I had him messaging Daniel all the time, bugging him, hey, he needs his training done. He needs this done. He needs that done. Just kind of going back and forth, and at that point, I met Daniel briefly a couple times. Didn't really talk a whole lot, and then once I finally got official in the Paleto Bay Police Department on 5M, I got to talk to him a bit more, but I don't think things really took off until the server grew a little bit more. Things didn't really click until then, because it was kind of like I would be on and you wouldn't, or you would be on and I wouldn't, and it was just kind of a mix. But yeah, I've been around for a while. I wouldn't say the start of the server, but I'd say the close beginning.
Yeah, if we still had Polito, it was pretty close to the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And for y'all that don't know what I'm talking about, or what we're talking about, 5M is a police art. Well, I guess it's not necessarily police, but a big part of 5M is it's GTA 5 based, and it's like there's servers where, like he said, you have fire and EMS and police that role plays, and so that's what we had a server with AnO Gaming. Um, but yeah, man. So after Paleto Bay, we decided to shut down Paleto Bay, and then we introduced. Did we do both State Patrol and Blaine County at the same time?
No, you actually did State Patrol to start with. You did State Patrol, and I think I was actually absent on the server for a little while.
Mm.
Um, and then when I came back, you pitched the idea to me, um, because Toledo was still open when you opened State Patrol,
Oh,
and
I don't remember this. That's
I don't
crazy.
remember. I don't remember who was in charge. I really don't. But you pitched the idea to me
Hmm.
that you wanted to open up Blaine County Sheriff's Office. Okay, and honestly, I want to say Myers was the chief at the time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
I
I
do
think.
remember making Myers the chief of. Yep,
And he was the chief, and then you started up State Patrol to give
that's
more
right.
options to everybody. Um, so eventually, I remember me, you, and Myers were on the server one night. Nobody else was on. We were just messing around talking, and you pitched the idea, and me and him liked it
Hmm.
because we were the two most active as far as a lot of people in Polito, and we were able to get everything situated as far as we were. I think we were working on the cars, like the different for different ranks. You would go up to your different vehicles per se.
Right.
Um, and we sorted all that out. You took a picture of it, posted it in the Discord, announced that we were going to shut down Polito and start the sheriff's office up.
Gotcha.
It's been a while. I don't know how I remember all that, to be honest.
Dude, I don't remember that, man. I hardly remember being. I mean, I know I was the chief of Paleto Bay, but I hardly remember any of that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, so when when we started up State Patrol, I remember I did that, if in case you were wondering,
Yeah.
because I wanted a SWAT team that wasn't specifically uh, what's the word, constricted to just one jurisdiction. And so I started the SWAT team to for State Patrol. That way who could cover the whole state. And so we're having some technical difficulties. So, um, bear with me for 1 second. So, anyway, like I said, I appreciate you being on the podcast, man. Unfortunately, as of the time of this recording, actually today, well, technically yesterday since it's 0200, we had to shut down the server because obviously you were a big part because you ended with um sheriff of Blaine
Yeah.
County.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. And so being somebody in that high of a position, an RP server, plus at this point, I know you said like in the past you were kind of off and on, but at this point, now that you're the sheriff, you were a big person that like people kind of looked at to see if you were on in order to decide if they wanted to get on.
Yeah.
So, then you signed with AnO once we started that back up. And so now that's taken my focus away from the server because I'm working on AnO. And now since you signed, your focus is away from the server now on AnO. And then we had and you made it to server manager.
Yep.
So
Yeah. It was like I think like we've talked about before. I loved 5M. Yeah, I still do. I'll still play it.
yeah,
Um, I hate that we had to do what we had to do, but that doesn't mean it can't be fired back up in the future.
exactly.
Because obviously the goal right now is to get AnO set up and rolling at full steam.
Yep.
But making it a server manager and sheriff, there's a lot of responsibility there. It's
Oh yeah.
a server manager alone. I had to make sure the server was getting out there. If anyone's joining, direct them in the right places to the staff team here, there, the other. And then working as sheriff, obviously applications, interviews, training, field training, just all that
Yeah.
different stuff put together. Right now, just couldn't. I hate to say, and honestly, couldn't be done along with trying to do AnO because honestly,
Yeah.
which I know you can't agree, AnO is more important right
Oh yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
In that form, but
Because I mean, I don't know who's going to be watching this podcast, but if you are a true gamer and actually wants this to be a job, then you guys know. I mean, we're dealing with like a huge, like this could be what? Like this is a career. What we're trying to build with AnO Gaming compared to a 5M server that's just something you do for fun. But like what we're building right now is something that decides like how many jobs are going to be out there with AnO, you know what I mean? So, so it's a big deal. So we got to take it serious if we do want to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take into account this is a multi-million-dollar industry in esports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not all about the money. It's all about enjoying what you do. But there is potential for jobs and a lot of money to be made to pay people to do this for a living. And that's the goal. That's why we make the decisions to shut down servers and stuff. At the end of the day, it's just a server. It can always be fired back up, like I said before. But it's just taking account and focusing on the more important things at the moment.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Well, so let me ask you, changing topics a little bit now. How do you have a story on how you started gaming, like first got into it and knew like, hey, this is fun. This is what I want to kind of do. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
actually, God, I was. Now that I think about it, it was probably like 9 or so ish. I wasn't too young, but my first game I ever played, ever, was Guitar Hero 2 on the PlayStation 2.
Dang.
I had played, or after that kind of started the domino effect. My dad had the PlayStation 2, the old big fat one, the old school one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had Guitar Hero 2, and I mean, as you can see I got multiple guitars sitting over there. I play guitar myself, and I know Daniel does as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was fascinated with it, so I tried to play it, and kept playing and playing and playing, getting better at it, and just trying to beat my dad, and then I eventually trying to beat my friends, and it kind of dominoed into I got a GameCube. If anybody watching remembers
Oh
those,
yeah. Oh
I got a
yeah.
GameCube. I tore that thing up for years.
What game
I
mainly?
couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Okay.
It
Because I
was
remember
forever ago.
back when GameCube was big, I used to grind Need for Speed. I
Yeah,
think it was like
yeah,
Most Wanted or something like that.
yeah. I want to say I had a Need for Speed game. I had like a Resident Evil game and a couple of different things. I don't remember all of them. A few racing games.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. And that kind of went into. I had multiple different like portable systems, Nintendo DS, uh,
Mhm.
the
Oh yeah.
Game Boys, just all of that different stuff, PSPs, um, and all of this just kind of transpired into console gaming, which I know technically PS2 is a console, but talking about like online gaming.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
when I was probably 11 or 12, I got my first PS3. Um, my stepmom had bought me and my dad a PS3 for Christmas, and obviously I kind of took over.
So you've always been a PlayStation kind of person?
I back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, I kind of we got the PS3. That was my intro to online gaming.
Mhm.
I had never heard of or even played an online game until that happened. And
Yeah.
when I got that, that's when I started getting Call of Duties, and I'd meet friends at school that played, and I'd join them, and I'm like, "You can play online?" Like, I've just been playing the campaigns. I had no idea,
Yeah.
and I was playing the campaign, zombies, and stuff like that. I had no idea about all this, so I got one of those little cheap mics, talking to my friends, and then that kind of rolled into. I think I got an Xbox 360 not long after that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Same deal, Call of Duty mainly. It was
Mhm.
really all I played at the time. Um, and then I believe I got a PS4 at some point. And when I got a PS4, same deal. It's all kind of repetitive. Call of Duty, this and that, this and that. Online gaming. Uh,
Yeah.
and it was because Call of Duty was, in my opinion, at its biggest at this point in time when online gaming first became huge. Because
Yeah.
Call of Duty was really the only game other than Halo putting that out at the time. And I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge Halo guy. Don't hate me for that. But I wasn't a
Tommy will.
huge
I
Halo
won't.
guy. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Halo. I loved the campaign, but I just wasn't big into the online scene.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's transpired from PlayStation 2s to Game Boys to Nintendo DS, GameCubes, uh,
Dang, man.
all the way up to PS4, Xbox One, and now to PC within the past 2 years. I've only been gaming
Yeah.
on PC for 2 years. So,
Dude, your story sounds pretty much just like mine, except for the PlayStation part. I've never gave PlayStation a chance. Um, but yeah, dude. Whenever I tell this story, like, I don't. Have you seen the video that I posted about the 1 year in ANO or whatever it was called?
yeah, I got a chance to watch a decent bit of it. Not all of it, though.
Okay. So in that video, I kind of mentioned when I started gaming, but now that you say that and mention it, that and I said that I started on Halo Reach, but really, that's when I first started playing online.
Yeah.
Because I started gaming before that, because I forgot about the Nintendo DS and the GameCube. I even
Yeah.
had the original Xbox that I played GTA San Andreas.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dude, I used to love there was like some kind of not multiplayer, but if you had like another guy playing on the same console with you,
Yeah.
there was some kind of thing that you could actually be a cop and like put on the cop uniform. I used to love doing that.
I think I know what you're talking about. I feel like I've done that before.
It was in the county. I know that because it was like a sheriff with the country cowboy
Yeah,
hat and
yeah.
stuff. So that was a lot of fun. I used to love putting in cheat codes on that too.
Yeah, the old R1X, L2,
Yeah,
L2, you just all those different
ABL
codes.
XX down up, something
Yeah,
like
which
that.
obviously minor PlayStation codes, but
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah,
deal, same deal.
yeah.
I had a whole notebook of just sheets writing
Uh
these
huh.
down that I
Dude, me
found off
too.
the computer. Just
Yep, me too. Yeah, and I did. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Need for Speed Most Wanted.
yeah,
Or it could have been Hot Pursuit or something like that. Um, I used to play that and loved like the cops on there and stuff. It was a lot of fun because I've been interested in law enforcement since I was 4, so that was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But let's see. So yeah, I did the DS. I had Animal Crossing. That was so much fun. Um,
I've never played that. I've never
really?
played that. Uh-uh.
I used to love that game on the DS. Um, I got actually before Halo Reach, I got a Wii. Did a bunch of Wii Sports. I was
Mhm.
the best at bowling.
God,
Beat
yeah.
everybody in my house. On the Wii is when I got Guitar Hero. We also got what is the full band one?
Rock Band.
Rock Band. Yep, we got
Yep.
that. Like a matter of fact, I think in at my mom's house in the basement, we still have the drum set for it. It was a lot of fun, and the microphones too. That was a fun game. But nah, dude, it was all about the Wii Sports bowling for
Yeah,
me, dude.
dude.
I beat everybody in my house.
I lived with my grandparents for I don't remember exactly how long, multiple years.
Yeah.
In like my mid childhood area into
Hmm.
like early teens, and we had a Wii.
Yeah.
Mario Kart, the Rapala fishing game. I love that because I had
Mm.
all the attachments, the fishing pole, the tennis rackets, the baseball bats, all that stuff,
Heck yeah.
and we made it like a family event every
Okay.
Wednesday night. Me, my grandpa, and my grandma would have like a bowling tournament,
Dude, that
and
sounds fun.
it was my goal to just smack them up every time we played. And
Yeah.
me and my pawpaw would just always go at it. I mean, and it would be neck and neck every single time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we turned it into like it. That's one thing about gaming in certain perspectives that I like a lot too, is it brings people together.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people look at today's society and gaming and are just like, oh, these nerds playing their video games, and it's
Yeah.
like, the memories that I have personally, it brought me and my grandparents closer together.
Yeah.
Even though they're obviously from an older generation,
Mhm.
they were able to relate to me in a way and enjoy it and turn it into a weekly occurrence.
Yeah.
And and
That's
and
awesome.
and not only competing, but to kind of in a way teach me sportsmanship, which I've always been in sports, football and baseball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was just like a cool way to connect.
Right.
Not a lot of people can say they've done that with, especially people of an older generation where this was never a thing. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's just amazing about video games. That's why I've always stuck with it. I mean, look at all
Yeah.
the people that I've met and you've met. I'm sure a lot of people can relate on this.
Yeah.
I've never met half of these people that I know a day in my
Mhm.
life. Some of them I don't even know what they look like, but
Yep.
it's almost like I've known them my whole life just through online. It's
Dude, and the best example I can give with that is Tommy. I've
yeah,
met him, I want to say like 2011 maybe, something like that. Um, Played with him finally. So actually what happened, we just launched after do you know about the Jukes Gaming stuff?
uh, I've heard of it. I don't know a whole lot
Okay.
about it.
So basically, long story short, I was in a clan and we changed the name of that clan to Jukes Gaming. And Tommy was in there, and that was in 2014 when we changed the name to Jukes Gaming. But Tommy was in the clan before it was called Jukes Gaming,
Yeah.
and I met him all online. But once we launched Jukes Gaming, we eventually started a store for it, which is the same store we have today, just with AnO instead of Jukes stuff. We started a store, and Tommy was the first one to order something on the store. And I was like, heck yeah, we just got an order. I was so excited. I looked at it, seen it was Tommy, and seen his address. I was like, hold on a second. That says Georgia. And my brother, he's he lives 3 hours away. Because at that time that's where he was going to college, and that's just where he stayed even after college. He's now a teacher. But so he's 3 hours away, and we were up there visiting him, and while we were visiting him, that's when we got the order, and I looked. Sure enough, he was literally 7 minutes away from where I was. I had no idea where he lived.
Dang.
But he was 7 minutes away from where I was. Unfortunately, I couldn't go on that day because we were just heading back. But I did eventually meet up with him. I actually think I have a vlog on my personal YouTube channel where I first met with him. It was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Just meeting people online and then meeting them face to face is an awesome feeling.
Yeah, dude, and that's, I've got a couple buddies that live out on the West Coast that I've met through gaming within the past year, and I'd like to meet them someday, and
Oh, yeah.
and that I that's the same situation with me and you. We met randomly through a mutual friend,
Yep.
and I met you online through him,
Mhm.
and turns out you're what, a whole one county away from me.
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
minutes maybe. And and then to now's situation, we connect on so many levels
Mhm.
of music. We're both musicians.
Yep.
Motorcycles, we're both into that. We're both
Oh, yeah.
big into law enforcement, either have been or are in. It's
Mhm.
there's so many different levels you can connect with people on, and then to meet somebody random and find out they live close to you, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, I can meet up with this person and go grab a drink." It's like,
Yep.
it's crazy how all of it works.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, so before the podcast started, we kind of, and I know on the last podcast we talked about paranormal
Mhm.
stuff, but you told me that you have some stories.
Oh yeah,
So you want to get into that a little bit?
yeah, dude. I've had some crazy stories, which everybody's got their own opinion
Mhm.
on paranormal.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna lie to you or any of the viewers. I quite frankly don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know the logistics of paranormal. Some
Yeah,
people are
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's just a figment of your imagination," and some are like, "Oh no, there's this, and this." I
Yeah.
guess it all depends on your beliefs.
Right.
I've had some weird experiences that I can't explain. So I don't really know what to believe. I've
Mhm.
never. Well, I take that back. I have. When I was, shoot, I was probably 15, 16 or so. I lived with my dad, um, and I had never had anything weird like this happen to me before. Um, I was for about 3 months straight. I woke up at 3:33 a.m. every day.
Every night for 3 months straight?
3 months straight.
Wow.
Every single night. So the way it was set up, like my bed. So I had a big wooden bed frame. Um, at the headboard, I had a big mirror with two lamps, one on either side, and then there's like a little base part where you could like sit something like a cup or whatever. I had my alarm clock sitting right here. Well, I'm
Yeah.
a stomach sleeper, so
Mhm.
I was asleep, and when I would wake up, if my alarm went off, I'd just punch it, and
Mhm.
every night I woke up, I'd just pick my head up and look at my clock, 3:33 a.m.
That's
every
crazy.
night for like 3 months, and so like one of the very
That's a bunch of
last
threes,
nights,
man.
I
Three
know, dude.
months at 3:33.
I started I started like Googling this shit, dude. I didn't
Yeah.
know what to do. I was like, it's kind of weird, but like once it kept happening just every single night, I
Yeah.
was like, dude, something's weird here. And like I never had like that dreading feeling like, something's watching me or like something's on top of me or nothing like that
Yeah.
until one of the very last nights that this ever happened to me. So I woke up one of the last nights at 3:33 a.m. When I woke up, I just had this feeling. I don't know if you've ever felt it or any of the viewers ever felt it, but I just had this dreading feeling like something was just like over me, just waiting. And so I laid there and laid there and laid there and laid there. And I was afraid to turn over. I was laying on my stomach with my face down in the pillow. I just didn't want to move. It was one of those you're so terrified you just don't even want to move.
Yep. Yeah.
And eventually I worked up the nerve to pick my head up. Like I said, I had a mirror, a big. It was probably about a 4 foot long mirror at the headboard. So I picked my head up and looked into that mirror, and I saw a black figure standing at the closet at the other side of the room. That alone scared me half to death. So, like I said, a lot of people got opinions on these ghost stories. Like people would be like, "Oh, it was sleep paralysis, or it was this, or it was that." The part that was sketchy was not only did I look in that mirror and see something there, but when I stuffed my head back down and threw the blanket over my head because I was just absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
That guitar sitting right there, that exact one, the high E string, which for people that don't know is the lowest string, was like something grabbed it and just picked it. Just ping! And it just rung out. And it scared me to death. Like to the point to where I jumped out of my bed and ran straight through my bedroom door into the bathroom. I don't know why I went in the bathroom.
Oh, Lord.
Of all places, I don't know why I went in the bathroom. I guess it was the closest door to my bedroom that wasn't my room.
Yeah.
So I ran straight into the bathroom and turned the light on and just sat on the toilet.
Dude.
And then...
So nobody was around and that string actually... Wow.
It just pinged. Like, because my guitars were placed over by the closet.
Mm-hmm.
So in the same vicinity that I saw this black figure was where those guitars were sitting. And I know it was that guitar because my other guitar was in the closet, tucked away in a case.
Yeah.
That guitar was sitting right by my dresser by that closet door. And the other guitar was a bass guitar, so it wouldn't have made that noise. Not a high E string noise.
Yeah.
But I ended up sitting in the bathroom for 30 minutes or so, and my stepmom walked in there and she said, "Why are you in the bathroom?" It's like, I was just terrified. Like I couldn't even talk. And like the next morning I explained it to her and she was like, "Oh, there's nothing in this house." But it never happened again. After that night, never again. After 3 months straight of just nonstop, it just gone.
That's crazy.
No idea what it was or why, but it was just ongoing for that long.
And so, when you woke up, you didn't have any nightmares, right? So nothing to make you think.
I've never been one to have like nightmares or night terrors and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like basically you were just sleeping, randomly wake up at 3:33, look in the mirror, see a black figure behind you just looking down at you. Could you like make out a face?
No, it was just an outline.
Okay.
Just like I know some people would think, "Oh, it was just you were just dreaming."
Yeah.
Whatever it was, it scared me enough to where I jumped out of the bed.
Right.
Either way.
That's crazy.
But aside from that story, the only other one I have is flashback probably I was probably 11. So flashback about 4 years. This is when I still lived at my grandparents' house. This is the house my mom grew up in. This is my mom's parents. My mom had mentioned weird stuff like that happening, like lights turning on and off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now a whole different story at my grandparents' house. the house that they had at the time, they've sold it since then, or since I moved out years ago. It had a basement, the main floor, and the second floor. So a very spacious house.
Yeah.
They had quite a few kids, so they had many different rooms. My room was right across from my grandparents' room. Um, and they always called it the safe room for whatever reason. I guess because it was the one closest to theirs.
Yeah.
But my mom's old room was at the other end of the hallway. Well, my mom's old room, I can guarantee you I've only ever been in that room a handful of times the like 5 or 6 years I lived with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just, every time you walked in that room, you just never felt right. There was something about that room. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so sitting in my bed in my room, I used to always sit up with my back against the headboard and watch TV before I went to bed every night. I'd get home from football practice, shower, clean up, do all that good stuff, and sit down, watch TV for a bit, and fall asleep.
Right.
Sitting where my bed was placed, you could see the stairs. Like just completely, if you look across through the door, you can see the stairs. Well, they had the stairs covered by, like, I wouldn't say a blanket, but like a blanket-like covering to basically like keep AC or heat upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that curtain was pretty heavy. I mean, it was a hefty curtain. And I was sitting there one night, and I was watching TV. My little TV I had was sitting on the dresser to the right of where I was sitting, and I was sitting there looking to the right of the TV, and I just happened to look left and look at that curtain, and the curtain was like pulled to the side. Like,
Yeah.
like something had pulled it and was like peeking.
Right.
And I sat there and looked at it for a minute. And I was like, grandparents are asleep. Or they're at least laying down because I can hear their TV in there. And surely nobody's just going to be standing there. But yeah, I sat there for probably 10 minutes just looking at it. And I was like, because sometimes when the AC was blowing hard or something, it would wave it. But this was just like a steady, just like holding it up. I was like, okay, that's kind of odd.
Well, was it like just in like was it a little like was it pulled back and like in the middle, or was it the whole thing pulled back? Like
Yeah,
what I'm trying to ask, like if there's a curtain and like a hand kind of denting it like that, or was it like a whole?
Yeah, so
you know what I'm saying?
Use that curtain behind me for reference. It was like pulled the edge of it and like pulled it back like it was gonna peek around. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just like pulled it back, but it was only pulled back about that far. Like just enough to like stick a head through. And it was pulled back a bit. I just sat there and looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. And it was like I was mesmerized. I couldn't look away from it. It was like I was just scared to look away from it.
Right.
And I sat there and sat there and sat there, and eventually the curtain just fell, like something just let it go.
Oh, hell no.
But nothing further happened. That was like the more anticlimactic type occasion that happened to me. But it was like it was just one of those weird things that you couldn't understand or explain.
So you were sitting there for what you said, like 10 minutes, staring at it?
Roughly, yeah.
So when it dropped and like went back to normal, did you hear any kind of like AC kick on or something that could have blew it?
Nothing.
Oh, hell no.
and it was just like it's hard to explain it without showing you.
Yeah.
But the way that it was pulled over was no logical. I don't care how you want to put it. There's no logical, scientific, nothing way you could have put it that would have happened.
Wow.
And that's the one thing about like my personal paranormal experiences that bother me, I guess, is that I can't explain them.
Yeah.
I can't, like figure out why or what it was.
Right.
Because it's like me personally, I'm kind of stuck in that phase of like halfway believing and halfway not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to believe it because it's happened to me, but I don't because it's like I'm one of those people that I try to see things from all perspectives.
Yeah.
I stay open minded about things.
Right.
And I'm very curious.
Oh yeah.
I'm very curious about the unknown.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of curious about the unknown, have you ever messed with a Ouija board?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I refuse to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm the same way. I will not have not. There's no way.
I refuse to. My sister has, and she did with multiple friends on multiple occasions, and she said nothing happened.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm so curious and somewhat afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
That I refuse.
Yeah, you don't even want to like
to
try it.
to even give it a shot, because if these evil entities are real,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna give it a chance. Like,
Right.
I don't care. Like, you can keep it to yourself. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
I'll ask someone about their experiences if they've done it. That's
Mhm.
why my sister mentioned she had done it, so I asked her all about it. What happened? Did anything happen at all? If something did happen, what happened? Are you still experiencing it?
Yeah.
Whatever. She said absolutely nothing happened.
Well, so
But
speaking of nothing happening, after I finished the podcast with Raina about it, me and Whoopsie played for a little bit, played some 0 Hour, and I asked him his thoughts on paranormal and asked him if he had any stories or anything, but he said nothing for himself has happened. But he said, I think it was a friend of his, or at least used to be. He was playing with a Ouija board, not Whoopsie, but his friend. Was playing with a Ouija board in like a cemetery or something, and didn't get any response. They've tried it and tried it and tried it, nothing. And then I can't remember exactly what he said. He'll have to tell you, but they either went to another place or tried it on a different day or something, and finally got in touch with like a little girl.
yeah.
And that freaked him out. So yeah, he said that they've tried, didn't get a response, and then one day they tried it again and finally got something. So
that's one of the reasons I don't mess with that stuff either. Is because one thing I've heard very regularly is that quote unquote demons like to what I'm looking for like to represent themselves as a child. Because it seems so innocent.
Oh,
it seems
Lord.
so innocent, right?
Yeah, right.
Like it and that's a big thing I've heard in the paranormal world, is that they like to represent themselves as children or stuff like that, because
that makes sense.
It seems innocent.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, that makes sense. And now, as far as my beliefs, I don't know if I believe in spirits, ghosts, whatever, but I know for a fact I'm consider myself to be religious.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Bible, it talks about demons, so I know those are real. I know exorcisms are real, things like that. So yeah, that's why I'm never gonna try anything, and that's why when it comes to scary movies, I can do clowns, I can do zombies, I can do killers. But anything demonic, people crawling on walls, ceilings, turning their head 360, no. I can't do that.
No.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, I love hearing stories about it, but the fact that I've heard that watching stuff like that opens doors, I ain't willing to try that junk.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I refuse to watch movies like that. I will, but I
Hmm.
haven't in years because I just and it's not that I'm, a nuthead that just believes all these
Yeah.
different things. It's just, I'm not a conspiracy guy or nothing like that, but
Right.
I don't know. If there is anything out there, I don't want to mess with it. It's just like
Exactly. Like it kind of like a saying that I have is I'd rather believe and be wrong
mm,
than not believe and be wrong. So like
yeah.
I'd rather believe that there's something and not mess with it than not believe and be like, yeah, let's play with it, and then it be real and I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
haunted
Yeah.
by a demon. I'm good.
Yeah.
But anyway, um, are you a sport kind of guy?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So what's like your main sport? What do you like?
Um, well, I played football since I was 7,
Mm.
all the way up through high school, all the way through 12th grade when I graduated. I played football, and I had a scholarship to go play in college, but I was burnt out and I didn't want to play no more.
Yeah.
I also wrestled. I picked up wrestling in high school.
Okay.
But outside of what I've done, my go-to sport is baseball,
Okay.
without a doubt. Baseball's always been my favorite sport.
Yeah. I think baseball is very interesting. I've honestly I've never really gotten into any sports. I mainly played soccer when I was super young.
Yeah,
Um, but like in school, I've never really did any football. I've tried football in elementary school, hated it.
yeah,
Um, and I quit. But other than that, that's all I've really tried. I did. I was thinking about trying baseball, but never got around to it because it does seem pretty interesting.
yeah, yeah.
But
I played baseball, through elementary, and when I got to high school, I wanted to play baseball still. Um, but to an extent, it kind of interacted with my football season a little bit,
yeah,
and I took football very seriously throughout high school. Um, Mainly just because I knew I could get a ride to college, which
right,
ironically I didn't even go to college.
yeah,
But I had the opportunity. I got to where I wanted to be. I got a scholarship to I believe it was a Division 2 or Division 3 school. Nothing crazy, but I got a scholarship. But
right,
I didn't even go to college because one, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at the time. I was
yeah,
hard headed, very hard headed, and I wanted to figure it out for myself. I never figured it out until just now, actually. I'm 22 years old now, and I just figured it out. I've been out of school 4 years, um,
yep.
which, obviously, I've got a good job now, but I just figured out my career path. But,
Oh yeah,
I was told my 10th grade year, sophomore year, I tried out for the baseball team, and I was told that I was too slow.
wow,
So I was told I was too slow, even though I believe it was more of a favoritism thing.
yeah,
In a
yeah,
way, they had their people that they had been playing these positions and they wanted in these positions because um, the guy who played catcher, which is what I was probably going to play because I was, a bigger, broader shoulder guy,
yeah,
um, they he was slower than me, but they told me I was too slow. But
dang,
that's when I got into wrestling sophomore year
okay,
to do in the off season. So that way I stayed in, good shape throughout off season to go back into football, which is what I took more serious than anything. But
right, okay. Um, you mentioned something that makes me want to talk about this. Oh, it was the hard-headed thing when you said you're hard-headed.
God, yeah.
Um, what about like? So, what are your thoughts on? I, is it astrology sign like the Taurus, Leo
Oh,
stuff?
Zodiac.
Zodiac signs, yeah. What's
Yeah.
your? Like, do you believe in stuff like that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never got too much into it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've obviously heard a lot about it, like a lot of people have. You
Oh
see
yeah.
stuff. You can't go into Instagram or anything like that without seeing something about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Seeing, oh well, they must be an Aries. Like, go into TikTok. I know TikTok's a big thing right now, and I
Yep.
go on TikTok every single day. I'm addicted to it. I go onto TikTok and it's like people having lives saying, uh, donate to me and I'll guess your zodiac sign by your profile picture and username. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay, sure you
Yeah.
can. But
Right.
it is kind of odd though. Because so let me look up real quick while I'm thinking about it.
Okay. While you're
Um
looking that up, I'll go ahead and say my input. I don't know how. I don't know if okay. So I do know I'm a Taurus,
mhm.
and that's all. It says you love food. I love food. It says that we're super stubborn, super hard-headed. I consider myself to be super stubborn and hard-headed.
Yeah.
And there's just so much truth to it that it makes me want to believe, but I still don't. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And see, that's the same with me because I'm a Leo.
Okay.
And so here what it says under Leo. I just looked up the traits of Leo. Um Compassion, big-heartedness, consciousness, drive and natural leadership are the four main characteristics of Leo personality. Leos are known for their generosity of time, energy, respect, and money. As a result, Leos are attached to others. Leos have a natural sense of self-assurance. So, I can personally tell you that the four main ones, compassion, big-heartedness, consciousness, drive, and natural leadership, that represents me as a whole on its own.
Yeah.
Like, I find myself in those situations every day. It's been like that my whole life. That's what's weird about it, bro. It is
I ain't
because
laughing
it's
about what you're saying. I looked up Taurus and Leo like relationships so I could
yeah.
compare like how we're supposed to and it comes up sexual and intimacy compatibility. I was like, that's not what I want to see.
That's not it.
That's not it.
But yeah, dude, as big and a big and scruffy guy as I look, I'm very soft on the inside
Right.
when it comes to certain things. One thing that's not listed on Leo uh, is anything about attitude,
Mhm.
because I've got that attitude where I just don't put up with stupid,
Yeah.
for lack of better terms.
Oh yeah.
I'm very short fused. I don't put up with stuff for very long.
Right.
I if someone is pushing that point, I snap quickly and I put them in their place quickly, and it
Mhm.
doesn't come out the nicest always.
Right. Right.
But the compassion and big heartedness, everybody can be a bit selfish sometimes. That's just human nature. Um, but that directs towards me a lot. The natural leadership is a big one for me.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a huge one for me because I not only when I was in sports, but now in my workplace,
Mhm.
I find myself taking that leadership spot quite often. And then I have my bosses approaching me asking me if I want to take this lead position.
Talking about me.
Hey, do you want this? And I'm like, sure. And yeah, I can relate to that directly just through video games in the 5M server.
Yep.
You saw how I operated.
Mhm.
You knew how I took initiative on things. That natural leadership is what drove you into, making me what I was on the server.
Yeah.
And even what I am in ANO.
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that these things will be taken care of, and I'll take that initiative and natural leadership and apply it to whatever I'm doing.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, like I mean, they're so accurate, dude.
Yeah. Like this one here, it says, "Who should a Leo marry?" One of Leo's most compatible signs is none other than the equally fierce Aries.
Is that
And that my wife is an Aries.
wow?
Ironically, my wife is an Aries.
That's crazy.
So
So what it said?
it's odd, dude.
Who should a because I'm having some female troubles, as you know. Who should a Taurus marry? Let's see. Taurus men or women are most compatible in marriage with a Pisces. Okay, all right. I think one of my exes was a Pisces that like actually had a good relationship. I was her first boyfriend though, so she was super awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably why it didn't work out. But I guess I'm just gonna have to like, any new girl that I'm thinking about, I'm just gonna have to say, hey,
Just look up
Pisces?
the Zodiac, bro.
Pisces? Yeah. I like how the one person though that because it mentions like three.
Mm-hmm.
But the one person that you know that I'm talking about
Yeah.
isn't listed. Which is actually yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
And what would that one person be? Just out of curiosity. Like the Zodiac, not
Yeah,
who that
right,
person
right, right. A Leo. So this says, I clicked on Taurus and Leo. It says when you imagine the blazing and egocentric sun, which rules Leo, mixing with beautiful and materialistic Venus, which rules Taurus, red flags should appear.
Hmm. There's your
Dang.
sign.
Both signs are notorious for being very stubborn. However, there's still potential for this couple to work out. Uh-oh, hang on a second. In my research, I discovered something shocking about Taurus and Leo's relationship. I'm excited to share this with you. Taurus personalities like to stick to their comfort zone and have a love for luxury. They stick to their routines and appreciate anything sensual. Leos are passionate, warm, but at the same time, they want attention fixed on them. Dude, that's so accurate. Not with you, but the person that I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be
sure.
with you, but it's crazy.
Yeah, dude, for sure. It's that. Like I told you, I'm not huge into this Zodiac thing. I don't look into it. Like I literally had to look it up myself to know what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, it's it's crazy how accurate it can be sometimes.
Dude, this says Leo and Taurus couples may even require a mediator.
I take it that's me, right?
No, I'm talking like.
I'm messing with you.
Okay, all right. I mean, if you keep messing with me, we might need a mediator. I'm just playing. Oh, but yeah, it's crazy how accurate these things are.
Sure.
Hey, I think this was a pretty interesting podcast. Do you have any other topics you want to touch on?
Not right off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay.
About
Me
you?
neither. Not really. I mean, I wanted to go into music, but like, I don't know. What could we say about music?
I guess it really depended on what about music you wanted to go into.
I mean,
How about this? How about this? Let's start with this. How did you get into music?
Okay. Dude, my whole family has always been very musical. Like my brother that I mentioned 3 hours away, I said he's a teacher, but he's actually a band director.
Mm-hmm.
We were all in band in middle school. All of my brothers were in band in high school. I didn't like school band as much, so I quit after middle school. But we had that going. But really, it all started for me when I used to be a volunteer lifeguard. When I was very young, didn't really do anything. Like I couldn't even jump in and like save somebody.
Yeah.
But like I basically clean windows to be honest. But so at the place that I volunteered at, they had a guitar lesson class, and so I went in there. They let me sit in for free, which was pretty cool. And so I sat in and learned like the basic stuff. I learned G, C, D, E minor chords.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember. They either stopped doing the lessons or I just quit. But after that, pretty much it all skyrocketed. I loved playing guitar. Got my own guitar. I remember when I first started before the Y, I actually had a guitar, and like let me get this one real quick. So like I would have it laying horizontal like this, on my lap, and I would play. Let me pull up my thing so I can make sure. So I would play with it on my lap with my thumb, and the first thing I taught myself was Smoke on the Water. So, dude, it was so bad. It was like this. And so yeah, I kind of found that to be pretty fun, which is why I really sat into that class, and then I quit it, and then pretty much taught myself the rest. I started going to church, and they like the band was awesome. Like it was a very good church band, and so I decided to stay at that church and asked the pastor if I could play guitar for him. He said, yeah, in the future, took me forever because, I was bad, to be honest, at this point. But they finally let me sit in with them while they were practicing. Not live, but while they were practicing. So I sat in with them, played a little bit, and eventually one day they let me play while they were live, which was so much fun. And ever since then, I stayed with it. That band unfortunately went to another church, but I stayed at the same church, and the next pastor that came in let me play with them, and so ever since then, I just gotten better and better and better. I'm pretty good at guitar now. I would say I'm humbly. I'm nowhere close to as good as I would want to be.
Yeah.
And majority of that I think is because I played for a Christian band, a church band, and so if we're gonna play any Christian songs, I could jam all night. But like I'm trying to get to other stuff. Like my buddy's a metalhead. I'm trying to learn some of that. So like I do some Enter Sandman and stuff like that. But yeah, man, that's pretty much how that started. What about you?
Yeah, I like I said earlier on the podcast, Guitar Hero 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is what got me into it. My dad is a big metalhead. I am as well. Which I listen to everything, honestly.
Yeah.
Anything with a guitar in it, I'm listening.
Oh yeah.
But Guitar Hero 2 is what really caught my eye with the guitar. Specifically the guitar. And then ironically back to how video games start everything. It was an avalanche in gaming as a whole. And how far I've came with that, and it was an avalanche into my music, like my music career. I call it career, but the first guitar I ever picked up, I don't have it with me. It's at my dad's house. It's a I don't even know the model. It's a Yamaha something. It looks just like a Fender Stratocaster.
Heck yeah.
Looks just it's a replica, but it's a Yamaha model.
Yeah.
That was the first guitar my dad ever bought. My dad had guitars and had learned stuff and taught me a few things. I had picked it up here and there and just kind of just strummed the strings. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew how to hold the guitar. I didn't know how to hold a pick. I was just holding it in my hand, just strumming it, and not even trying to play any chords. I didn't know anything. Thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I wanted to know how to do it. So over the years, I had learned some of the same things. Smoke on the Water, being one. I don't remember what some of the other ones are. My dad taught me. I don't even remember how to play them. But you didn't even have to. You didn't even have to fret any chords. You just would strum, and just basically picking chords. And it was a certain picking pattern. And when I was 12 or 13, my dad got that guitar. That's an Equiphone, basically like a replica of the Les Paul, the Gibson Les Paul.
Is that black?
Yeah.
That's the exact guitar I have over there. Epiphone. Is it the special? Epiphone special?
Yeah.
Like Les Paul special or whatever? Yep. That's what I got.
Yep. It's that one right there. My dad got that guitar from a friend that he worked with who was an insane guitar player. God, he's insane. Yeah. He had too many guitars. He's like, I need to get rid of this one. And my dad got that off of him for, it was either free or like $50. Like, because he was just like giving it away. He was like, I need to get rid of this. So my dad got that and thought it'd be a cool gift, and he brought it home to me. So when when he brought it home to me, I immediately was just blown away. I was like, holy cow, look at this guitar. Yeah. And I would pick it up and play it every now and then and like try to figure stuff out. I never figured out chords and stuff. I was always just playing the same stuff, Smoke on the Water, just strumming the little chords, It was never anything progressive. Right. Nothing like you were doing, playing in church bands and stuff. Not until I was a little bit older. Yeah. When I was a little bit older, I played the drums a couple times in the church band. But it was only like 2 or 3 times. It was nothing ever made. I love the drums too, but I never got like into it. Yeah. But up until, because when I was, in my early teenage years, I got a little amp that I got sitting right over there in the corner for Christmas from my grandparents, and I would plug it in and just blast the chords with no remorse. I had no idea what I was doing. Up until about 4 years ago, I didn't seriously start playing. And I wish I would have seriously started playing back when I picked up a guitar. Yeah. Because if I did, I would be way better than I am now. Like and now I'm not bad at all. By no means. I'm not tooting my own horn because I think you're better than I am. That's just me. But me, I'm a big acoustic guy. I got my acoustic sitting in the corner over there. I love playing the acoustic. I can pick it up and just go to town. All different songs, different chords, rhythms, everything. Different strumming patterns, finger picking, just different stuff. And I bought that guitar about 4 years ago for $100 on Facebook. And it was an old fellow that acoustic.
Oh, the acoustic.
Yeah, my acoustic, not that one.
Yeah.
But I bought my acoustic for $100 off a guy on Facebook. I went to this guy's house. He handed me this guitar and he said, "Here she is." And I just held it and just looked at it. I didn't want to play it because I didn't know how. Yeah. I would have just sat there like a little kid just strumming the chords. So I didn't know how, so I just held it and I just looked at him and I was like, I don't really know how to play. I'm just really learning. Yeah. And I handed it back to him and he plugged it in because it is a electric acoustic. Right. He plugged it into a small amp and started playing. Talking to this guy further, he was 65 years old, and he's been playing since he was 5.
Jeez.
And he said now his hobby is buying guitars off people, putting new strings on them, playing them, and then selling them.
For a profit?
Yeah. I would guess. I would hope.
Yeah. Right, right.
But it's nothing special. It's no Taylor or Martin, Gibson, nothing like that. But it does the job. But I picked that guitar up, and I'm a very hands-on learner. Very hands-on learner.
Yeah.
Once I learned the chords of YouTube, shout out YouTube.
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing for me.
Dude, I see ads all the time on YouTube.
Yeah.
Saying,
I said I taught myself, but it's YouTube.
Yeah. And I hear people say all the time, "Oh, don't learn guitar off of YouTube. You're gonna pick up bad habits, this and that and the other." Yeah. But it's like all I've been really learning is chords. Once I got the bass chords, your G, C, D, A minor, E minor. I just learned the B minor bar chord from you a couple weeks ago because I couldn't play a bar chord to save my freaking life. I could not play a bar chord. And just learning all the different majors and minors and just everything simple. And then I just been kind of scaling it up. It's to the point now where I can pull up a video. Let's just say, I know you and I are both big country music fans. Mm-hmm. I can pull up a video right now of Morgan Wallen playing a song live or something, so you can actually see what he's playing. Yeah. And I can look at what he's doing and mimic it on the guitar. I can just pull out my guitar. I'll be like, okay, he's got the capo on the 2nd fret, and he's playing a G, C add 9, D. Just throwing whatever, I can look at what he's doing, and it's to the point now to where I play almost every day. Yeah. Almost every morning I play for about an hour. It's been that way for the past 4 years.
Right.
And I guess that's why I've progressed so fast in the short time I've played. I know 4 years isn't a short time, but it is compared to most people.
Oh yeah.
But I play for roughly an hour every morning, and every day, on average, I learn 1 to 2 new songs. The whole song, not just
every day?
Bits and pieces every day.
Dang.
I learn 1 to 2, maybe more new riffs. Because what I'll do is I'll sit there, I'll hear a song on my playlist or on the radio or something. I'm like, dang, that's a catchy riff.
Yeah.
And I'll learn it. And then when I learn the chords, I'll perfect it and get it to where I can play it, without even looking at it. I'll be sitting here just watching TV.
Yeah.
Just strumming away. And my wife looks over at me and she's like, "You're so good at that." And I'm like, not even close, but that's why I practice, is because I'm getting there. And it's one of them things where ever since I put a guitar in my hands, that old replica Stratocaster, ever since I put a guitar in my hands, that's been all I've wanted to do. I want to buy another guitar, but it's like $1,800.
Do you have any guitar pedals?
I don't. No.
Dude, I'm telling you that. Do you think buying guitars is kind of addicting?
Yes.
Okay. Buying guitar pedals, I consider to be way more addicting.
I think my only thing with the pedal thing is that I'm not a big electric player.
Yeah, that's true.
That one right there, I pick it up every now and then. Like the other day, I learned the opening riff to TNT by AC/DC, and I was playing it on my acoustic. I play everything on my acoustic. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I play everything on my acoustic, and I was like, I got that sitting there. I just put new heavier strings on that because like I said, I'm a metalhead.
Yeah.
I went and bought me some heavier gauge strings, at the local guitar shop. Threw them on there, tuned everything in, played it for about 5 minutes, and it's been sitting right there. So like when I learned that riff on the acoustic, I came in here and plugged in my my little amp that I got, and messed with the distortion a little bit to kind of give it that gritty sound.
Yeah.
And played with it for a little bit, but then I set it right back down and go right back to my acoustic. I'm addicted to acoustics. I don't know.
Is it the sound or how it feels that you like?
I guess it's more the versatility of an acoustic.
I gotcha.
It's not really the sound or the feel. It's just being able to pick it up and just. I'm playing metal songs on the acoustic. I'm playing country songs on the acoustic. Gospel, this, that, and the other. I'm just doing it all. And then if there's a song that is like a finger style, finger picking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even have to switch to a different guitar. I just got that one right there.
There you go. The reason why I asked is because I know they make acoustic simulators for the electric, so if it was the sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you being on the podcast.
For sure, man. Thank you for having me.
We had a lot of topics. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can do this again sometime soon. I know we have this is the SunCast is what we call this series. So it's every Sunday, which is why it's called the SunCast. But yeah, every Sunday, that's a lot of podcasts. So we might have you again pretty soon.
Oh yeah, man.
So yeah, I appreciate you being here. To everybody watching, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Leave a like. We're gonna try to get podcasts to more stuff than just YouTube. I would love to get it on like Spotify and like Apple Podcasts. That'd be amazing. So we're gonna look into that. But thank you guys once again for tuning in. Skylar video, his introducing video. Make sure you go check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, for sure.
We just actually before this podcast, we just finished filming it.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep. So if you notice I'm wearing the same shirt, that's why.
Yeah, that's why. me too.
Yep.
This is the same exact.
Yep.
Yeah. So
we went straight from that film straight into the podcast.
Yeah, we're getting them rolling. The producer's making me busy. Raina, if you're watching, she's doing a great job. So I mean, she was talking about having another podcast after this. I was like, sheesh. Because she wants to be 2 ahead, which is awesome. So we already have one that's being uploaded tomorrow, and then we'll have this one for next Sunday. And so she wants one more, so that we stay, which is a good idea. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Welcome, Skylar, to the team, buddy.
Sir.
I'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Goodbye.